right, good morning to everybody. I'm Kirk Garrett. I'm past president of the Chamber of Commerce, and I want to welcome all of you to the 2014 Coffee and the Candidates Forum presented by the Greater Brewton Area Chamber of Commerce. Assisting me in serving as timekeeper today will be Melanie McGugan, Chamber Director. I want to thank Josh Godwin and David's Catfish for hosting this event and providing the refreshments. Hopefully everyone has had an opportunity to get some refreshments before we got started today. Very important note is that I want to be clear that the Chamber of Commerce is not endorsing any candidate that's going to speak today or any candidate in general. We're conducting this forum as an opportunity for you to learn more about each candidate's particular platform. I want to remind everybody that the primaries will be held on Tuesday, June 3rd, and the county, state, and national elections will be Tuesday, November 4th. Each candidate will be allowed 3 minutes to state his or her platform today. We're going to go in the order of school board candidates. We'll go in alphabetical order for each election. School board candidates, then county commission District 1 candidates, tax collector candidates, tax assessor candidates, and then sheriff candidates. If time permits, anonymous written questions directed at any candidate or any group of candidates or certain candidates will be accepted from the floor. I'll take the questions and ask the candidates after everyone has an opportunity to speak. You will have 30 seconds to respond, the candidates will, to each of those questions if there are any. I will make the decision to whether a question is inappropriate or appropriate, and then ask it if it is appropriate. Again, we ask that you submit those questions in writing, and there's a box back at the sign-in table when you came in, and the sheet of paper for you to fill out the question as well. If you will put those in the box back there, again, we'll go through them towards the end and ask any appropriate questions. Again, this event is intended for informational purposes only, and the Chamber does not support or endorse any one candidate over another. We'll begin our program, like I said before, with School Board District 1, alphabetical order, Mr. Kevin Hooms.
It's actually Holmes. One of those is silent there. Everybody does it. I've been called Holmes my whole life. Anyway, thank you to the Chamber for putting this on. It's pretty nice. Thank you to David's Catfish, Josh. Thanks for letting us come here and do this. This is a nice venue, and we appreciate it. But my name is Kevin Holmes. I am running for the Escambia County School Board, District 1. I am married to Kim, is my wife. I have 3 children. Walker, who is 10 years old, Weston, who is 6 years old, and Sophia, who is 2 years old. I grew up in East Brewton and Damascus. Those are the areas I grew up in. If you know a Holmes, you know that they're from the Damascus area, so you know I'm one of them. Let's see. I'm a lieutenant at the Brewton Fire Department. That's my full-time job, and I'm also the assistant chief at the East Brewton Fire Department, so I do double duty. My wife is a stay-at-home mother, and that's why I do it, so she can stay at home and raise our kids. And I tell her all the time that I wouldn't trade with her for nothing. I got the easy job, she's got the tough job. Stay-at-home mom is a real job, and she keeps our household going. She's the CEO of our household. So, before that, I was a retail store manager for 10 years. Managed auto parts stores. I don't know if anybody recognized me from that, but I've got 2 kids that are in Neal Elementary School. And you want to know the reasons for me running? Well, you got it right there. I've got 2 there now, and Sophie, whenever she starts, Lord help us, I'll have 3 in there. At one time, I'm going to have a kid in high school, middle school, and elementary school. So I'm in for the long haul. And if you need to know why I'm running, that's why I'm running. I'm trying to get involved with my kids' education. I'm trying to get involved in my community a little bit further. But I also serve on the East Bruton Planning Commission. I'm on the East Bruton Youth Baseball Board. That is an adventure in itself right there. If anybody has kids that have ever played youth sports, you know that it can get hairy at times, and we're in the middle of it right now. I'm in the middle of baseball right now. So all of my family went to county school. We went to W.S. Neal. My wife was a 96 graduate. My sister graduated. My father. So that's where my heart lies. I'm a product of the county school system. That's where I came from, and that's where I'm trying to give back to. That's what I'm doing. I'm a member of the First Baptist Church of East Bruton. I live within a rock's throw to it. Where am I at? I'm done? You're done. Ain't no way. I'm also a member of the W.S. Neal Quarterback Club. I used to volunteer with Damascus Fire Department, and that's it, for real. I thought you was kidding. Anyway, hey, listen, this is where I grew up. This is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be involved on my school board where my kids go to school. I'm passionate about it. I love it. My life is about God. I love the Lord. My family, that is more important than most things. I love them. My career. I love what I do for a living. And thank you for letting me talk. And man, that went way too fast. But anyway, thanks again. I appreciate it so much.
Okay, Mr. Randall Little.
Good morning. I'm Randall Little. I am, of course, presently the superintendent of the Escambia County School System, and I'm running for the school board to get rid of the superintendent of education for the Escambia County School System. But no, my wife and I came here to Bruton 15 years ago. We fell in love with the community. I had retired from Mississippi with 27 years of educational experience and came here starting to look to start over afresh. And was fortunate enough to be hired by the Escambia County Board of Education in the fall of 1999. I served 7 years as assistant principal at W.S. Neal High School, and then in 2006 became assistant superintendent of education for the Escambia County School System. Since December 2011, I have been superintendent of our school system. After 42 years, I have decided to retire effective June 30th. Kind of jokingly inform people it's about time after 42 years of service in public education to retire and finally get my high school diploma and move on. We have started many initiatives since 2011 in the school system that I would like to continue to see through those initiatives. We are gradually moving from individual school accreditation to district-wide accreditation, and hopefully that will come to complete fruition by February and March of next spring in 2015. I've also, through my collective leadership team, we have developed a very genuine and very workable strategic and capital improvement plan for the school system. We put this in place 9 months ago, and this is a 5-year plan. And of course, the school board is very instrumental in carrying out that strategic plan, which of course deals with our current academic structure and of course our current infrastructure in our buildings. We are in the process of making major infrastructure changes throughout the system on both ends of the county. We this past year did a $1 million renovation of Escambia County High School. We're presently doing a $2.4 million renovation of Rachel Patterson Elementary School, both of course on the Atmore end. In December 12, our leadership team put together a financing plan, working with our bondholder and working with our school architect. And as the fruitations of that financial plan, we were able to go to New York City, spend 3 days in New York City, and were able to secure a $24 million bond at 3.5% to build a brand new W.S. Neal school without raising anyone's taxes. This money is already in the bank, and of course construction has begun on Neal School. Mother Nature hasn't cooperated too well. We're about 80 or 90 days behind schedule on the new Neal School, but this past weekend, concrete was poured, and we're beginning to see an actual building frame go up. I would like, of course, the voters of District 1 to keep me on the job. I do have vast experience in school law. I do have vast experience in the financial affairs at the local level and at the state level. I would like to continue this leadership and this proven experience on the board. If elected, I can begin to become an effective school board member from day one, because I know entirely our strategic plan, I know entirely our school budget from A to Z, and would like to continue formulating, setting, and implementing policy for the citizens and, of course, for our children of the Escambia County school system. And I have run out of time, Mr. Carroll. But thank you for your concern for our school district. I'm glad to see the chamber to put we three school board candidates first, because we, Mr. Holmes, Mrs. Quarles, and I do consider this the most important position that you're going to go to the polls for to vote on June the 3rd. We are all Republicans running for this seat, so whoever wins the Republican primary will become our next school board member in November. And again, thank you for your support and for your participation this morning.
Ms. Deborah Quarles.
Good morning. I'm Debbie Quarles, and I'm running for a position on the Escambia County Board of Education representing District 1. For most of the 37 years that I've taught, I was Mrs. McDonald, and the kids quickly shortened that to Miss Mac. And so if you've seen any of my signs, that kind of explains all the names on the sign to try and be recognized a little bit. As I mentioned before, I have spent 37 years as a classroom teacher in Escambia County. First in Flomaton, and then for the last, I think, 31 or 32 years at Neal Middle School. Over those years, I've worked under many board members and several superintendents, Mr. Little, and I've been blessed because they've all been good people who've done good jobs. But it has always seemed logical to me over the years as policy has come through. It just seems to make sense to me and to many of my colleagues that having a teacher on the board would bring an important perspective to a group charged with such an important job of making policy for our schools. I know that seems like a very simplistic purpose for running, but it just makes sense to me. And that, in a nutshell, is why I'm here. I truly believe that a teacher's input into board discussions could only help to give a broader understanding as to the practicality, how it's really going to go forth in the schoolroom with the children during a school day, and all the other things that are there for teachers and administrators to do. So, in essence, my life's work has been a joy because it's been working with the children of our county. And I would so welcome the opportunity to continue working for them as a member of the Board of Education. They would be my prime focus point in every decision made. Thank you.
Okay, our next election will be County Commission District 1, Mr. Ted Jennings.
Thank you. I'm very glad to be here. The responsibilities between municipal government and county government are very similar. The biggest difference is that the county government deals with bigger budgets, whereas municipal government actually has more responsibilities, especially as it falls on the mayor. That's why I think that I am qualified for the job as County Commissioner District 1. There are two areas that I am very concerned about. The first is economic development. When Dr. Mac Patera, who is the recently retired chancellor of the University of Alabama Systems, was our economic development guru down in this area, he pointed out that until Mobile started doing something, nothing was going to happen in this area. Well, Mobile's doing a lot, and we are just sitting on the sidelines. In fact, we have, as a county level, have cut back our commitment for economic development. When elected, I will work to restore that. When I was at a meeting, sitting at my table, which I hosted, was the ambassador from Australia, the CEO from the Mobile division of Austal, the CEO from the Mobile division of Airbus, the American and Chinese representatives from Golden Dragon, which is recently setting up a factory outside of Thomasville. The counties of Mobile, Baldwin, and Clark County were all there. Escambia County was not represented. These people are not going to come hunting us. We're going to have to get out there and meet with them. Economic development is not just about bringing in new jobs, but it's also about protecting the jobs that we now have. When the Romans built the civilizations that we still now enjoy, the keystone of that was the keystone. It's what held the arcs together. Now, while our school systems are extremely important, and they're what our communities rally to, I would submit to you the keystone of any community is its health care organization. In the city of Bruton alone, there are over 400 jobs directly related to health care. In the past year, 8 hospitals in our state have closed. Health care is under attack. Decisions we make about where we're going to go and what we're going to do with health care will directly affect everybody here. Hospitals relate to jobs. Jobs relate to economic development. Economic development relates to industrial development. Industrial relates to education and the growth of our school system. Jobs relate to the quality of life. The ultimate failure of any leadership is a breakdown of communication. I'm going to ignore it like everybody else did. The ultimate failure of leadership is a breakdown in communication. I can and will restore that. I am qualified to do that job. I will take a lead role in economic development as it relates to jobs, health care, and education. I humbly ask for your vote and support in the Democratic primary on June 3rd. Thank you.
Mr. David Stokes.
Where's Judy? She's going to panic. I brought 30 minutes of material, Judy, so. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, David's Catfish, for allowing me to be here, and I know I'm using a few minutes of my time, but I'm always going to share with you the fact that I've been married for 32 years to my lovely wife, Debbie. We have 3 children, and I have a beautiful David, Elizabeth Ann, and Rob. I have a beautiful daughter-in-law, Courtney, and we're so proud. I'm 57 years old. I've been honored to serve you as your county commissioner for 23 years. I was elected in September of '90, and I took office in January of '91. Make no mistake about it, I do want to be reelected. I'm going to fight hard for you. There's a lot of things that I would like to cover today. I would like to mention to you the Garvey Bridge replacements, the A-Trip Road projects, the work that you've seen started here in Bruton. I worked with your current mayor to get $5 million for our roads that I was not able to communicate with the previous mayor. I would like to discuss with you, but I don't have time, the construction and the subsequent renovations of the County Detention Center to improve your public safety. The improvements on the courthouse, the $280 million roof on the courthouse, the new HVA system. I would like to go over that, but I don't have time. The main thing I want to leave with you is this, is that we manage $14 million of your tax dollars to ensure that you receive the best possible value for the funds that are spent. And we are continuously facing the same issues that you are. I mean, rising cost, inflation, and getting less for your dollar. But at the same time, we have to maintain a balanced budget. It's not hard for you, and it's not hard for us. I would like to share with you the fact that I served for 2 years on the Coastal Gateway as the president of Coastal Gateway Regional Economic Development Alliance to help and promote the economic growth for the region. We'll live in a shell if we don't think outside of the box and realize that we have to have the regional approach to economic development, where we've got Conecuh, we've got Monroe County, we've got Choctaw County, and we have Clark County in our region. We have to realize that we have to work together. I'm willing to do that. I would love to continue that. One thing I want you to understand is that I'll work with anybody, but I work for you. I'm your employee. I want to be the best employee you've got. I cannot be obligated to special interest. There's no way that I can do that, but I'll promise you this. I will work with them. I have. Recently, I'm not going to ignore it too much. Recently, I had a request from the city of Atmore for a $500,000 request from the Port Spanish Creek Indians. It was honored. They paid that. I'll work with anybody, but we have to work with and not for special interest. Thank you.
Our next election is tax collector, Mr. Tim Pettis.
Hi, my name is Tim Pettis, and I'm seeking the office of Escambia County Tax Collector. I would like to thank David's Catfish and the Bruton Chamber for putting this on. I'd also like to thank the Republican Party for giving me the nomination. I'm not a politician. I'm simply a citizen and lifelong resident of Escambia County. And my goals for this office are simple. If elected, I would like to have an efficiently run office by providing quality customer service and treating all citizens fairly and with respect. I believe a successful office requires two simple things: that employees show up and that they're there. That they also work hard to handle the daily operations. While at Brackens, my parents have entrusted me with the job of handling the day-to-day cash flow and serving the customers. I've learned to treat others as I wish to be treated and to be accountable. I feel the tax collector's office requires the same skills as a family-owned business, and my 20 years of experience makes me the qualified candidate. One question I'd like to answer is why I'm seeking this office. I feel like it's time for me to make a name for myself, and with my parents' blessing, I plan to move forward. I also feel like this is a special opportunity for me to provide a better quality of life for my new wife, Paula, and my two stepdaughters, Sarah Grace and Lauren. So I would love to continue in certain public service. Ms. Wiggins has efficiently run this office, and I'd like to follow in her footsteps and to prove upon and carry forward her hard work. Thank you, and please vote for me November the 4th for tax collector.
Mr. Todd White.
Hello, I'm Todd White, and I'm seeking the candidacy for the office of the Escambia County Tax Collector. You know, it's good to seek an office that's not actually broke. That Ms. Joy Wiggins has done a wonderful job over the past several years of running that office, and the 9 ladies that work in that office do there's actually count Ms. Joy, there's 9. There's 5 in Bruton, 6 counting her, and 3 in Atmore. And they do a wonderful job running that office. So it's nice to know that you're seeking an office that you don't have to go in there and repair a lot of things that's wrong. So my desires in seeking this office is to be a good servant, which in being a good servant, you can become a good leader. In doing that, I see that the economic development of our county is also very important. And you say, what can you do from a tax collector's office in economic development? Well, you can do a lot in economic development. Our greater area chamber of commerce that do so much for our community, they're really the core of our communities is the leadership that's within them. And to be able to fundamentally help them with the numbers and the decision making that takes place, with the tax assessment, with the tax collections, to give them the information that's needed to help draw these industries in is of vital importance. You know, I feel like here recently that Connecticut County's had a little edge on us in some of us at some times. You know, you hear about them getting different things in. Well, we may be doing more than they are. If we are, we need to do a better job of promoting what we're doing. And the thing about it is we have a new employee in Atmore that employs about 500 people. They've grown in leaps and bounds. They cannot be ignored whether we agree with the moral aspects of gaming or whether we don't. They employ a lot of people, and it is very important to that community down there. So it can't be ignored. We need to do our jobs in supporting our community. And our support in our community is outside the normal framework of what our jobs are at times. You know, I could go in there, sit back, become tax collector, and try to do the tax collector's job. Or you can inspire yourself to not only do the tax collector's job, but to be a leader to help support the people that actually get out here and pursue our industrial developments. It is one of my biggest goals. My family has served in the political arena for several years. My dad was Skippy White. He passed away in 2010. You know, to be honest with you, he's probably the biggest reason I'm here today. The night that he lost his race to Alan Baker, in which Alan does a good job now, but the night he lost his race to Alan Baker, one of the things my dad told me, he didn't have much money. The biggest thing that hurt him the most was his ability to help people had just left him, and that's where he got his joy from. There's not too many times in your life that people say things to you that last a lifetime. I want to know the joy that he received in serving of the people. I think that it is an honor and a joy to be able to serve the people, and I think that we can do a lot of things to make a lot of money, but when we do things for others, that's where our joy comes from. Thank you very much.
Next election is tax assessor. Mr. Bub Gideons cannot be here today, so Sarah McMillan will be our next candidate.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Sarah McMillan, running for tax assessor. For those who don't know me, I'll give you a real quick background. Grew up in Enterprise, Alabama. That's where my family still is. So not too far away, about an hour and a half from this area. And went to the University of Alabama, where I got my undergrad in accounting, and then I went on to get my MBA. Met my husband, Edward, my second year in that program, and we moved back here to Bruton and have been here ever since, which I've just come to love Escambia County and this community. When I first came here, I started my career at Wind Creek Casino as an accountant, so got a lot of experience there, met a lot of great people, and felt like I really wanted to get out there and use my interpersonal skills more and meet the public more. So I started seeking a career in sales, where I currently am now. I'm employed with a medical device company. Keeps me on the road quite a bit, and I feel like I miss out a lot here in the community. I really like to be involved as much as I can and try to get out there on the weekends, but I miss meeting people on a day-to-day basis and seeing everybody around town. So this was a great opportunity that came up, which I was really excited about. But I'm seeking the office because I'm bright, I'm energetic, I take pride in my work. I know that office, just like Todd mentioned with tax collector, is run very efficiently, and I want to use the women there as a resource to learn and be able to work with them and move forward. I have strong values, and I just want to represent the people of Escambia County to the best of my ability. And I just appreciate the opportunity and look forward to moving forward. Thank you so much.
Mr. Thad Moore, Jr.
Good morning. Thank you, Josh, David's Catfish, for hosting this. Thanks to the Chamber. I'm the Timekeeper's son's baseball coach, so I'm hoping for a little slack, but I don't think I'll get any. I'm Thad Moore, Jr. I'm running for tax assessor. I feel like I have a connection to our past, our present, and our future. Our past is because I grew up here. I grew up in Brewton. My father's Thad Moore. He's a local attorney. My mother's Cindy Moore. She retired from Jeff Davis as the registrar. They serve the community with pride. Having said that, I'm running on my track record, not theirs. I feel like I have a connection to our present. I moved back here 16 years ago. I've been active in the community during all that time. I feel like I have a connection to our future. I'm raising my family here. I'm married to Lee. I would say we were happily married. You might want to ask her. I have a daughter, Rebecca Ann, and a son, John. But I'm raising my family in Escambia County, and I want them to have a wonderful future. I'm a real estate appraiser. I've been doing that for 15 years. I think that experience qualifies me for this job. The tax assessor's office, they put a value on all taxable property in Escambia County. The State Revenue Department also plays a role in that process. The State Revenue Department wants your money. I want to be the last line of defense standing up for you against the State Revenue Department. The tax assessor's office, they do a wonderful job right now. There's 14 employees. All 14 of them are supporting me. They went out Saturday and are campaigning door to door for me. They're wearing t-shirts that say Thad Moore Jr. for tax assessor. They're wearing those shirts to the ball games. But I would love to have your support on June 3rd in the Democratic primary. I want to be there to protect you, make sure you pay taxes based on honest values instead of overinflated values. I feel like I have the experience to do that. Thank you.
Okay, the next election will be for sheriff, and Heath Jackson.
Good morning. When I came here today, I said, well, I'll talk about drugs. But then I figured the sheriff was going to talk about drugs. So I said, well, I'll talk about the crime in the community. But I said, well, I guess the sheriff's probably going to talk about that too. So I said, well, I'll just brag on the sheriff. But then I figured the sheriff was going to do that too. So my name's Heath Jackson. I'm running for Escambia County Sheriff. I've been in this community my whole life. I'm currently assigned to the Escambia County Sheriff's Office in Pensacola, Florida at the Homicide Unit. I can honestly say that 1 month in Pensacola, Florida working is equivalent to 10 years in this county. We just deal with so much every day. We have a population of 300,000 people that we're responsible for. Under my administration, if I'm elected sheriff, we're going to pick up the technology process. I feel in this county we're behind. There's numerous things that we could do that we're not actually doing right now to really move the county forward. One big thing that I've seen that's been affecting a lot of counties is child predators. If you watch the news, any TV shows, you see that they're everywhere. You can go to ABI online and it'll show you every sex offender in this county or surrounding it. And that's something we need to target. These people are getting on Facebook and other social media sites and they're targeting the children in our area. We're just not putting it out there and letting them know we're after them. The next thing that'll come up, well, doesn't that cost money? No, it does not. If you have a laptop computer and an internet access point, that's all you need to make these cases. And that's what we're going to target. We're going to go after those type people. Drugs, every time you look in the newspaper, drugs, drug arrest, drug arrest, drug arrest, but you'll also see it's the same people every time. You know, why are we arresting the same people every time? There has to come a point where we actually do something with them. We have to make sure our cases are strong enough when we put these people in jail that they're gone. We send them off and we don't have to worry about them. We don't spend the time with the same people over and over and over again. It does not, the jail process, everybody wants to say, well, the prisons are full. That's not Escambia County's problem. That's the governor's problem. That's the commissioner over the prisons' problem. Our job is to make sure that our community's safe at all times. If we have to fill the jails up and the prisons up, then that's what we have to do. I don't want them living beside me, and I'm sure everybody in this room feels the same way. If we have to pay a little bit extra, then we have to pay a little bit extra. Escambia County needs to take a stand. We need to let people know that the crime is out of control. Just because you don't see it in the newspaper doesn't mean that it's not happening. There's a lot of things that doesn't get reported. You have to be proactive and not reactive. As your sheriff, I don't want you to have to call me when you need something. I want to prevent something from happening where you need to call me. It's important to me for you vote. I want to lead this county. I want to put us in 2014 with the technology we need. It'd mean a lot to me. I'd appreciate your vote. If I can help you, there's some flyers in the back with my personal cell phone and email on it. Feel free to call me. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Grover Smith.
Good morning. There's no use me standing up here telling you a lot about me. It'd be like a circle. It'd be pointless. I've been in this county wearing a badge 42 years. There's very little I could say that would change your mind about me, whether it's pro or con. Heath, I would like to tell you, I love you to death, but I like me more. So I'm going to ask you if you would consider voting for this poor old man. I guess my greatest qualification is you look at me and you look at my wife. Anybody convince a woman who looks like that to marry him must be a pretty darn good guy. You know, I do want to correct one thing. Law enforcement and our court system are one of the few things in the state government that work well. As evidenced by what he said, our jails stay full and so do our prisons. Unfortunately, last year in the legislature, they decided they were going to eliminate us, to take away our ability to send people to jail, to prison for drugs. Now we have a point system. The court's required to fill out a grade sheet, if you will. You can be arrested 10 times for possession of drugs. We can't put you in prison. We can put you in the county jail. Guess who pays that? We do. Comes out of the county commission budget. And David, to tell you, my budget's $3.5 million. Escambia County, Florida Sheriff budget is $75 million. Do the math with the population, you'll see that we pay about a third per person what the sheriff in Escambia County gets for the same law enforcement. We've got 1,000 square miles, 947. We convict virtually everybody we arrest, or they pleaded out to multiple offenses. Truth of it is, we're doing everything we can to try to get these people that are nonviolent offenders into some kind of drug rehab program and change them, because we can't afford $15,000 a person. It's not fair to the taxpayers. That money can't be put in education, roads, bridges, or anything else you want to do. But we put them in prison. They just don't stay. Parole board turns back 50% of everybody we convict. Community corrections is another program where they release convicted felons back in our community. There used to be a SIR program, super intensive restitution. It was such a disaster, the Department of Corrections changed it. Named it something else that did the same thing. They put convicted felons back in the community. They don't notify the police chief. They don't notify the sheriff. No one. They're just put back. And they're paying the state of Alabama a fee. Talk to Tim Cook. Talk to anybody that's in pardon and parole, and they'll tell you they've got 200 plus, probably more than that, convicted felons they have to monitor. They can't do that. They don't know where they are, what they're doing. Their job, according to the state of Alabama, is to collect the money from them every month. Okay, have a good day.
Okay, I do not believe we had any questions submitted, so I want to thank everybody for coming out today. I again want to thank Josh Godwin and David's Catfish for hosting this event and also providing the refreshments. Just a reminder that the primaries are on Tuesday, June 3rd, and the general election is on Tuesday, November 4th. Thank you for coming out.